Yo, what's up guys? So today I'm going to show you an amazing version of Triumph. Now, if you don't know, Dai Vernon was the original creator of Triumph, which was published in Stars of Magic in 1946 in a little booklet. It actually wasn't until later that all the little booklets of Stars of Magic was combined into one book that we all have on our shelves, 64? Let's go with that. Now his original version was done on the table only, and this version I'm going to show you today is done completely in the hands. It uses a super cool condenser that I know you're going to love, so let's get right into it. So I want to show you sort of an optical illusion with cards, alright? So watch, we can take a card out, it doesn't matter which one it is. I remember that card there, you got it. Alright, so that goes back somewhere in the middle, and we'll cut it a little bit deeper for good measure, alright? So watch, if I were to mix the cards face up and face down, it might look like this. Take some cards, turn them face up on top of the face down cards. We'll do it one more time. Like this. Now it looks like they're being mixed face up and face down, but really they're not, because all the cards are still face up. But if I were to really do that, shuffle face up and face down, it might look like this. Watch. I shouldn't do this, but for you, I'll do it anyway. Alright, so watch, face up and face down, and give it a shuffle just like this. And you can really see that. You can really see face down cards being shuffled in to face up cards. There's no illusion there. That's really happening. You can see that they're really being shuffled. Now watch. Here's another crazy thing. If I cut the deck, I turn one card face down. That looks like one card, but really it's 51 cards because your card is the only one that is still face up, that two of spades. Alright, so for this, you will need 51 double-backed playing cards. So go out. I think Murphy's Magic sells a whole deck, so I'm just kidding, you don't need any double backers. All you need is a regular deck of playing cards and you're good to go. It doesn't even matter if some are missing or not, just as long as there are some cards. So what you want to do is have a card picked and controlled second from the top. Many ways you can do that. We all know tilt. You can have a card picked and control second from top like this with the old tilt method. So now second from the top. Or what I did in the performance, spread the deck, have a card up jogged, and then get a break on top of the card above their selection like this. As you close up, they can even push their card in if they want to. That way you can cut the deck, and now their card is second from the top. Many ways you can get there. So the 7 of clubs will be our selection. So what you're going to do is the browari reversal with 2 cards, alright? And what that is basically this, just turning over 2 cards and then turning the deck over. But secretly, it looks like this. So you want to get a break under 2 cards, the 2 top cards of the deck like this, by pushing over, and then transfer the deck to Biddle Grip, getting a thumb break on top of those. Now what you do is you just take half the deck, like this, revolve it up, face up, maintaining that thumb break, alright? So those 2 top cards are now added to that reversed packet automatically with that thumb break, alright? So what you do now is you just take all the cards below the break and then revolve them face up on top. So now our situation is all face up cards with those 2 reverse cards right there. That top one being the selection. Alright, so you're like that. But as you're doing that, you want to make it like very clear that you're apparently mixing face up and face down. So you want to like say, look, if I were to mix face up and face down, it might look like this, face up cards going on top of face down cards, and tilt your hand up so they can see it, get a good picture of that face up and face down. And say, watch, I'll even do it again and just complete the reversal, right? So now you're in a situation, say, look, but that's just an optical illusion, you say. And then because all the cards are still face up. But obviously don't spread all the way down because then you'll expose the 2 reverse cards, alright? So just, stop about, right here. Say, look, all the cards are still face up, and then close the deck. Now you see, if I were to really do it, if I were to really mix face up and face down, it might look something like this. Now you're going to do something called the Tenkai optical revolve, and what that is apparently turning packets over so you can shuffle face up and face down, but really nothing happens to the deck, alright? So what happens is you just turn both hands over at once, but it looks like you're turning packets face up and face down opposite to each other, but since cards are reversed, it looks as it should. So this is basically what it looks like this, so you can see face up and face down, but nothing happens. This is slow motion. You just lift up cards, turn both wrists over, so this hand turns palm up, this hand turns palm down at the same time, just like that. But exaggerated, it looks pretty good. But obviously you're not going to do this because they can see the card. Instead, here's what you do. So in this case, you want to get a break on that bottom reverse card with your pinky, transfer it to a thumb break like this. Now what's going to happen is say, look, if I were to mix face up and face down, it would look like this. Now you just swing cut half these face up cards over to here, and you want to drop off this face down card on top of this packet. And as soon as that happens, then you do that Tenkai revolve, alright? So, but you want to make it to where they can't obviously see that happening because that might be obvious, alright? So do it sort of neck-tied and then do the optical revolve, alright? So exposed you, this is how that would look. That gets dropped off, then you do the Tenkai revolve. So at full speed, it will look like this, alright? So if I were to really do it, it might look something like this. So watch face up and face down, and I've just done it. At this point, all the cards are currently face down with the exception of this card and that card, which is the selection. So what you're going to do is shuffle them into each other, and you can do a pharaoh, but don't be afraid of it because it does not have to be a perfect weave, alright? So just as long as you can do this to where that top face-up card stays on top and that bottom reverse card stays on the bottom, just like this, alright? So just like this, you do the, you can see the bottom card is staying there and the top card is staying there just like this. Now what happens here is a very nice convincer. It's referred to as a Jennings / Goodwin display, Larry Jennings and Bill Goodwin. So what happens is you can flash all of these, you can just do a riffle and show all face down cards here. Now after that you say, look, all face down cards here, these are really BMX, you can see all the face down cards, blah blah blah, right? Now you just pinch them in the middle like this and turn everything over towards you. And you say, look, and you can see all the face-up cards. But if you think about it, that's very illogical because look, that's actually face down, and those are all face up. But doing it like this, like all face down cards, it's illogical, but it works. Now you can be very slow and deliberate with this. Say, look, you can really see those being shuffled into each other, face up and face down. And the more you milk this, the better. So make sure they can get a real good view of that. And now you just turn this over again and you say, look, here's something else that's really strange. If I were to turn one card over, now here you just do a swing cut and turn this card over. If I were to turn one card over, that's also an optical illusion because in fact what I did is turn 51 cards over with the exception of one card, which happens to be your card, that 7 of clubs. Boom, just like that. And you end completely clean, so you start and end clean. Alright guys, so as always, thank you so much for taking the time and watching this video, and I really hope that you learned something new, and I hope you like it. Until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.